All right, hi everyone. Welcome to the panel on Let's Get Real, It's Okay to Not Be Okay. My name is Antoinette Patterson. I am the founder and CEO of Safe Space, so really very happy to be here today. Now, 2020 will be remembered as the year for real mental health discussions. You know, the spotlight on this topic has highlighted the importance of this area on keeping well and also being well physically and mentally. Now, mental health has become an all-time low for many people, especially in Singapore, but not just Singapore, globally as well. With work from home being the default and safe management measures are now here to stay, our need for physical interaction has become more than ever. Team bondings, large-scale events, and the freedom to interact with people seem like a thing of the past. In this panel, we'll find out more about how founders and management of startup companies, as well as digital content creators, strike a balance between work and in managing their own mental health. So with us here this afternoon is Shelling. So I would like Shelling to please give us a little introduction about yourself and what you do as a startup founder.
Hi everyone, I'm Shelling here. I'm the engagement manager with CaptionCube. So actually I'm supporting to engage our staff internally as HR and also externally with the business development side with our clients.
Great, thank you so much, Shelling. The next startup founder I would like to introduce is TY. TY, could you share with us a little bit more about what you do?
Hi, thanks, Antoinette. Yep, so I'm TY. I'm the founder of Monster Day Tour. So for Monster Day Tour, we basically run, before the pandemic, we were running physical tours for tourists all around the world. And during the pandemic, obviously, we had to pivot, and I can share more about that with you guys later. And we started doing live virtual tours.
Great, thank you so much. And last but definitely not least, we have Amy, who's a content creator. Amy, could you share with us a little bit more about what you do?
Currently, I'm a Year 2 Mass Communication student in Ngee Ann Poly. So I started content creating during circuit breaker last year. Yeah, and I'm a content creator on TikTok as of now.
Great, thank you so much. Now, all of us here are actually NP alumni. We all are currently working together with NP in some capacity, or we have been alumni with them. So thank you so much for everyone for being here today. Now, I would like to ask actually a first question, and maybe I'll start with Shelling, actually. Where do you get inspiration, for your business and for your team?
I think for us at CaptionCube, we get our inspiration from the people that we are serving, the community, especially the deaf community, and as well as also our team members, what will better drive them in terms of their aspirations.
Great. How about you, TY?
I mean, we are essentially, for the travel industry, we are pretty much a people business. So on a daily basis, we need to be meeting new faces, new people, and from there, we really get to understand what kind of experiences do we really want to provide to one another. Yeah, and to really tell the story of Singapore and Singaporeans.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Amy, as a content creator, what keeps you busy?
Coming out with new content, yeah. So for me, it's the constant, I have to constantly create new videos and ideas so that I can have, my page will look alive in that sense. And it's also like a way of income for me. So that is how I keep myself quite busy right now on TikTok. Yeah. But with school, obviously, there's a need to juggle between both of them.
Got it. Understood. And as we mentioned, 2020 was definitely a very challenging year. Everyone goes through the valleys of highs and lows when it comes to this. And for all of you here, maybe starting with Amy this time, how did you manage to persevere with what was going through during this period?
I think for me I think before the pandemic, I was a very extroverted person. But during the pandemic, I've learned to be more okay with being by myself. So I read definitely a lot more. And that was the way that I coped with the whole entire thing. Like I'll stay at home, maybe write or read some books during my free time. That's how I coped with the entire thing. But I think different people cope differently. Some people will make music, or some people will do sports.
Did that inspire you to create more content, or did that kickstart your journey into being a content creator?
Yes. It was only during circuit breaker that I started thinking about my secondary school days. So through that, I actually made a video that went viral, which is about, I think, Chinese teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that went viral, and then I think, that kickstarted the entire thing. So
something positive that came out of COVID, actually.
Definitely.
Great. T.Y., how about you? How do you manage to persevere with what was going on during 2020?
Yeah, so for us, obviously, the lowest point was when the pandemic hit in March. So literally, we got cancellation every single day. So you could imagine the kind of emotional roller coaster ride that we keep going through. Like, it just gets worse and worse. Every email we got for that month was like, oh, I wish to have canceled the tour. We don't know when the pandemic is going to last. And that was a period where we were really, really thinking to ourselves, especially between myself and the co-founder and the management team, we were thinking like, hey, do we really have to let go of people? Some of the guides especially, they've been with us for a really, really long time, and we literally have no jobs. And it was all like all of a sudden, at the snap of a finger, we have to tell them, jobs got cancelled, we really got nothing for you guys. So it was pretty much how to deal with all those emotions. Like, how do you take care of your own personal emotion, and then at the same time be mindful about what you're actually sharing with the person that's actually also getting the brunt of the impact of it. Yeah, so, but we did obviously overcome it because people understand about the situation. We managed to hold a lot of dialogue sessions, just put it that way, like between ourselves, between the employees, between the guides. We really talked things out at the very start. We gave ourselves like a bit of a plan. We planned a bit, okay, what is our best case scenario? What is our worst case scenario? And once everyone is comfortable with that, right? And it's like, okay, I know this is how much I might have to endure or how much I have to take. It becomes so much easier. So I think that was really something like a critical ingredient to how we could actually thereafter really path the road to, like, say, recovery, and to the point that we are right now still surviving and thriving, in fact. Yeah, so I thought that was really, really important, how we actually managed the pandemic at the very, very start during that initial months.
Got it. Thank you so much. Shelling, how about you? How did you manage to persevere during this time?
I think for us at Caption Cube, I think we were a bit lucky because we provide closed captioning services. So during this pandemic, a lot of media production actually cannot take in live audiences, so they switch to live streaming, etc. And then we have more business because of that. But having said that, of course, we have young parents in the company where we also have to support them in terms of juggling having kids at home, all the home-based learning and stuff. So as HR, we also try to make sure that everybody's well-being is taken care of, even though they're working from home, because we all pivoted to working from home, as we all know. So I think for us, it's really trying to make sure that everybody is having a safe space to work at home, really. Yeah, and
I see what you did there.
yes. Yeah.
Got it. Well, that's amazing. I think everyone's doing an amazing job with what was going through, and during the 2020. So good job to everyone. So on the topic of mental wellness, it has become a focus amidst the pandemic. So for each of you, your own personal take, how can we embrace and support those who speak out about their struggles? Maybe I'll start from the middle. T.Y.
Yep. Wow, I have so much to share about this. Like before 2019, I was only a team of 5. There was just a few of us that we really started way early. It was like my starting team. So among us, it was very easy to talk about issues, to talk about problems. And when the pandemic hit, then I started to see like there's really all these concerns about people, about their livelihood, about their career. We were really literally sitting down, and I started to get a lot of more of my employees sitting down and really pouring their hearts to me and crying in front of me. It was more like the kind of conversational where it was really very heart-to-heart kind of conversation. They were sharing with me like exactly what they are going through, why they are so concerned at this point in time. And thereafter, I started to get to learn how to put myself into position of most of them, because we are all at kind of different life stages. Although the team is quite young, but we had employees that was in their early 20s, and of course some of us in our late 30s. So the range of it, actually you need to kind of cover like at which life stage they are at, and what kind of emotional feelings that they might have been going through when it couples with the working life and the personal life as well. So, and thereafter, once the team expanded, we actually even got like interns, trainees, all joining us. And I realized that even at a very young age right now, a lot of the students, like Amy, they are very concerned about their personal and mental well-being. Like I can recall like 10 years back, if you asked me about this sort of wellness, mental well-being, right, I wouldn't give a lot of thought about this sort of processing these sort of thoughts. But I realized that younger ones nowadays, they are more aware of this. They can find a lot of information regarding on how to process all these feelings and emotions. So they were also sharing a lot with me on that. Yeah, so I started to get to see that, hey, this is actually a very important part when it comes to dealing with people. Yeah, so that was quite a ride myself as well.
Got it. Thank you so much. Shelling, how about you?
Well, I think for us, we always check in with our team every week to make sure everybody's okay. We usually start our meeting with a check-in word, like how's everybody doing? And then actually, even if during the meeting, if let's say we hear little children voices around, right, we actually encourage the young parents to bring their children in front of the Zoom, because the children just want the parents' attention and stuff. So we do not, we encourage them to just include them in part of the activity, right? And so that they're inclusive as well. And then more importantly, I think it's really a lot of talking to each other to make sure to recalibrate when we need to. Yeah, because times move really fast, and also clients' demands also change really quickly. Yeah, like for example, I was sharing with Tia earlier before we started this session, like because we do speech data for AI companies as well, and then certain companies also prefer clearer recording, meaning face-to-face recordings. But during this pandemic, rarely people will want to do face-to-face, even part-time or freelancing assignments. So we have to manage clients' expectations as well. If not, be very polite about it, like what's the restrictions and stuff like that. So we try to still strive for win-win as much as we can. Yeah.
Got it. No, thanks so much. So what I'm hearing from you is, being inclusive and being flexible is really one of the ways that for you and your company, you are helping others to cope with their struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Amy, how about you? When it comes to content creation and maybe your peers even, how do you support them when it comes to their struggles?
I feel like an important thing to mention is that when it comes to struggling with yourself or anything mentally, right, you need to get yourself a coping mechanism. And everyone copes differently. Some people, they go for cafe, they go shopping. Some people just write a lot into their diaries to vent their emotions and stuff. And some people need someone to talk to. So I try to be that person for my friends whenever they might want to talk, because we have a group chat. Yeah, like friends you make during the first year of school. So we've been friends ever since last year, and anytime anyone has something to talk about or to vent about, we'll be like, hey, anyone up for a call? And whoever is free, we can go and talk to the friend, listen to the problem. Yeah, so that's one thing that I've always tried to do as a way to support my friends that are struggling. Yeah.
That's amazing. So being a great listening ear, being there for them in their time of need, I guess that's how you would approach it.
Yeah, that's how I approach it as like a student. So.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I think you're doing a great job doing
you.
that. Okay, so my next question for everyone is, let's use this as an example. Nike's corporate officers had a 1 week off for the staff to distress. What are your thoughts on this, and do you think similar workplace initiatives could be done in more places, actually? Maybe since it's a work-related question, I'll probably start off with Shelling.
But regarding this question, actually, I had a good thought about it. I think it's a good initiative and lucky Nike employees, right? I think more importantly is also, if we do want to implement something like that, maybe make it an optional choice for the employees, because there may be a minority of them who may not benefit from that time at home or that time off, and maybe they are stressed at some other things as well. So it's really, I think it's a good initiative, but we can make it optional for them, and also to make sure that if they do go on this leave, right, they don't come back to have to clear a pile of work. Yeah, so to make sure everything is covered when they're away, they can really just take their minds off and really de-stress. So I think there must be a balance when we do this.
Got it. Hey, Tia, how about you? What do you think about this initiative?
Yeah, I think it's an amazing idea. In fact, we actually implemented it towards the end of 2020. So what happened was after Christmas that year, because anyway jobs was not as plentiful versus back then, we actually decided that, hey, why not we give everyone extra days off as well? So we did something very similar. I think we didn't stop, we stopped doing everything from 28th December onwards.
Wow.
And we gave a break all the way until the 4th or the 5th of January. So for the employee, it was very much for them. I wanted to give my appreciation to them because back then we were like a bit into COVID. We knew what to expect for 2021. And I was saying like, guys, why not you guys go and recharge?
Yeah.
Right? Y'all have been busy, go and do some recharge. Me and my co-founder, let's do some strategy meeting. Right? So we took that day, right? So it was kind of also telling ourselves, stop working now. Let's take a seat back, let everyone relax. Us as the leaders or as the founders, we think a bit of what's supposed to come next so that we make the whole planning easier. But it was a very good week for us because we were totally hands-off operational stuff. And that really let ourselves, like mentally, we were more like, we didn't have to be like so busy or caught up with a lot of stuff. So we tried that. And I have the same thought of doing it this year as well.
That's great.
Yeah, so we do consider it like, hey, why not we just try this kind of like, so we are not taking it from their annual leave even, right? We are not saying, hey guys, I want you to take this and I'm going to take it from your annual leave. It is more like the company wants to do this. And we hope that you guys also do this, like really take a break as well. Yeah, so I do think it's possible. Even if sometimes, of course, some companies, they will ask the question, well, but you got ongoing jobs, right? You got ongoing client, right? So how to manage it? So how we manage it back then was we always make sure that 2 months, 3 months before that, we already plan that we don't want to do anything during that period. Yeah, so I think it's possible.
Got it. And I guess for Amy, this question coming back to you as a potentially, part of the workforce as well, coming up soon. Are these kind of initiatives important for you when it comes to the workplace?
I would love a 1 week off week, yeah. But I've been reading a bit of research about like 4-day work week. So I definitely think that could be something that more companies can try to explore. Yeah, like a 4-day work week. Or in fact, I think some companies still have like a 5.5 work week. So it'd be better if they reduce to 5, that kind of stuff. But the 1 week off initiative is really good. Like if I had a company that did that, I'll love my boss lah. So that'll be my favorite boss, definitely.
So it helps with retention for sure, if it's for your own workplace.
Yeah.
Great, amazing. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So the next question is actually meant for Amy. How do you manage between studies and freelancing as a digital content creator? And what kind of self-care tips do you use to ensure that you don't burn out?
I feel like I don't balance it that well as I think I do, but I try my best. So that's what really counts in the end. For me, it's learning to say no, because it's a very attractive thing as a student to be able to do something that you like and you can earn money while you're still studying. So it's very hard for you to say, no, I don't want this. No, I am not up for this gig or whatever. But you have to say no because you have to decide whether you're sacrificing your grades or assignment for this gig that you want that might not help you for your portfolio in the future. So for me, it was learning to say no, and then learning to say, oh, okay, sorry, I am a bit packed this few months because of assignments, which is hard because I like to overpack myself. So, yeah. If you ask me about how I cope with everything, it's probably going back to what I did during circuit breaker, reading.
Okay.
Like for me, reading is one of those things that I think can help anyone. I feel like a lot of people think I don't read, but I do. I read a lot of books. So yeah, reading is definitely a way for me to like relax and chill a bit, because it's another world for you to imagine yourself to be in.
Got it. And I think this is a great segue because one of the attendees watching now has actually asked a question exactly on that.
Really?
Yeah. So the question is, how does the panel cope with work from home, home-based learning, lockdowns to ensure their well-being? So for Amy, it was reading. Yeah, and that has stuck with you through all of those areas. So work from home, home-based learning, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like reading and sometimes like writing for fun, that kind of stuff.
Got it.
So.
Okay, no, that's great. And I think it's a really creative outlet as well. Yeah. How about T-Way? How about you? How do you cope with working from home? If you have kids, home-based learning as well, and what are the ways to cope to ensure your well-being?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I do it that well as well. When I start working myself at home, I tend to sometimes drift off, want to do my own personal chores, take care of my family. There's always that sort of distraction all around you. Pretty much for myself, I always try to I create that kind of environment suitable for myself. When we say work from home, it doesn't really necessarily means that it needs to be at home. It can be in an office environment that is elsewhere. It can there's a lot of co-working spaces, a lot of cafes that people still goes to. So I try to put myself in that sort of environment. It was for me tougher for the team because I know I could cope with it, and since I'm the owner of the business, of course I have a lot of things. I have a lot of KPIs already to do. With my colleagues and my team though, I was just more concerned how are they dealing with it. So what I really did was really give them the trust and the freedom to really handle things on a daily basis, like, hey, this is the sort of targets that you probably have to hit on a weekly or monthly basis. And all they have to do is just reporting to myself or the management team if there's anything. So that kinds of keep track, but give them the free rein to really say that, hey, I might not be doing something in the day because I'm really caught up with something, but then at the same time, I will be covering it later on in the evening, for example. So that gives them a lot of flexibility. And I find that we are moving towards that sort of more flexible timeline, like what Amy shared earlier, for 4 days work week, 4.5 days. Actually, that is exactly what we are trying to achieve as well. Yeah, I don't really believe that, we really need to work every day in order to have a successful company. It's really that period that you put your time in, how much effort or how much concentration or focus do you put it in. Yeah, but I do think that if you want to cover, obviously across the spectrum, you need to have a workforce that's always there, but it could be on a rotational basis or a shift basis. Yeah, and that kinds of help everyone ease their individual burden. Yeah.
Great. So Shelling, same question for you. How do you cope with work from home, home-based learning to ensure your own well-being?
I think personally for myself, because I'm not local, and then so I try to make sure that while I work hard during work hours, I also make sure that I connect with family all over the world, that is all over the world. So, and then more importantly, is just to make sure that I rest well as have my me time after work. And I think in the office front, more importantly, very similar to what TY's company is doing, we practice a lot of flexible work arrangements. People have different start times. People also, some of them also work 4-day work week right now already. Yeah, so we try to make sure that we support each other when there's a gap in terms of capacity and stuff. And then as management, we always make sure that we look at, is everybody clearing their leave on time and stuff, and remind them that, okay, it's a good time to take leave now, please go for your break. Or sometimes we just sign up classes for them to just go and relax and de-stress and stuff like that. Yeah, so we really are quite on the ball for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I really like hearing that. My next question, and starting off with Shelling, it's on actually also on workplace, but on fun and really good activities to help your team to distress. So I know you mentioned that you sign your team up for activities and just to clock off, right, during the work hours. What else do you suggest, or what else have you tried to help your team to distress, especially after a long work day?
I think for us, we play a lot of games together online. So we gather almost every bi-weekly to play games, as well as, because we have a lot of introverts actually in the team. So we try not to have activities that are too loud or anything, but games is and because we are a linguist company, so our games is a lot to do with language and words and things that make everybody, I would say, think about, and then they have fun with it. Yeah, and then also internally, we also have a lot of, every week we gather together for relaxation sessions online as well. And then we also do team lunches, the typical team lunches, also group lunches, So we see each other almost, I think, twice a week on a team basis. Yeah, so a lot of frequent touch points just to make sure everybody's doing fine and, supporting each other. And I think for us in Caption Q, we always create the culture to let people know that it's really okay not to be okay, and let us know and see how we can support each other. And I think we've been very pragmatic in doing that. And people do come up and to us to say that, hey, I'm feeling a bit burnt out. Can I take some time off? And usually before they come to us, we kind of detect it anyway, and we would say, hey, maybe it's time you take a break. Let's see who are the others who can cover your work and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we do. We have a lot of fun together. We laugh a lot together, I think. Yeah, while working hard.
Nice. Tiva, how about you? When it comes to distressing after a long work day, what are some fun activities that your team does to motivate and to keep the morale up for your staff?
Yeah, so for us, it's a bit more unique. Obviously, like what Shelling shared, we also play virtual games because there's literally not much we can do as a team bonding. But because we are a tour company, you see, and tours are now, tour operators like us are allowed to run tours up to 20 people. So we have that special privilege. And then whenever we design new tours, we actually go and do it ourselves and try it ourselves. So in a way, we could actually organize our own mini team bonding by going to when we do the tours ourselves. Yeah, so like almost every month, we'll probably be developing some sort of new tours. For example, recently we did some cooking workshops with one of our hotel partners at Live Funan. So we actually split ourselves into badges. We had 2 groups, and we try to mix people from different teams going down there to do the cooking, and then after that we switch around. We did a puzzle hunt over at Fort Canning, where almost the whole team went. It's a gamified tour. Basically, we had game kits and we were running around Fort Canning, and we did all this. And much earlier during the year, we were doing a Southern Island cruise. So we work with our cruise partner to actually go out to sea. So these are the things that I would say, one reason why we are in this industry is that we love all these experiences. And we were lucky enough to be able to still conduct this, because obviously most company doesn't have the luxury to do this sort of activities during this period. Yeah, but of course, between us and our team, for the small things, I always encourage the team, right? The moment someone has been really driving very hard or working very hard during that week itself, because for myself, I might not be able to see every little tiny things that's happening in the company, but some of them does. And I say, show your appreciation to those people that you think that has been working alongside you. And I've seen my colleagues really going up there to like tapao lunches for people, buying coconut shakes, and then taking photos together. We have this chat. I started it early in the year. We call it the Life Project. So I say, guys, you all need to regularly post picture of what are the fun things that you all do during work, so that work looks fun. That was exactly what we did. And at first, of course, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, sure, no one posts one. They say then, like, TY just want us to do work, right? But surprisingly, everyone caught on to it. After that, people, when they go out to sea, they started taking pictures. When someone did something funny, they actually posted it there. And I thought that was useful. That allowed us to really see that, hey, when you are working, one of your colleagues is having some nonsense and fun over there, but they are also going through some struggles. And I thought that actually helped a bit. Like, I wouldn't say the impact is very impactful. I would love to grow the project to something even bigger. And maybe that's something I should speak to you about and see how we can implement it in the workplace.
Yeah, that's interesting, for sure. I mean, if you ever need a mental health EAP program, you know where to go. Safe space, Yeah, anyway. But no, thanks for sharing that. I think that's really interesting. And, with the nature of all of us working from home, where team bonding is now done on a remote basis, what other things can you do as well, right, to engage your staff? So, and especially if they are in multi-markets, not just Singapore, where we have the luxury to meet in person. 2 packs, But, how do we engage international staff? I think that's also really important. Okay. Actually, I want to ask some questions for you, actually, Amy. I guess same as the first one. I know you love reading, and you talk to your friends. Are there other recommendations that you think could benefit someone, to really de-stress after a long day?
This is going to sound weird, but obviously there's gaming, because my friends and I, we play the same game. We play a game called Genshin Impact. Sometimes we play it together and then we have fun, right? But for me, when I was in primary school and secondary school, the way that I helped myself to think more logically and to meditate in some sort of way, I couldn't do yoga or meditation. It just didn't fit me. I was in a competitive sports called shooting. So for me, I've seen also the shooting club. They've had, I think, team activities from companies as well. And it's a really great activity because you have to calm down and steady yourself when you're doing the sports. So you allow yourself to sort of breathe in, breathe out. And by the end of the 1 hour session of you doing the training, right, you are like Zen mode. Because you're like completely focused on getting the shot. You're completely focused standing still. So in that sense, that was the way that I meditated in those secondary school years.
I love
Yeah.
it. You meditated through shooting.
Yes, I meditated through shooting.
That's amazing. And shooting, just for the benefit of everyone who's watching, shooting is the gun. It's the one with the gun, right?
Yeah, but it's not like a real bullet. It's a tiny, tiny lead bullet, and it's an Olympic sports. Yeah, that you can do in, I think, Safra.
Nice. That's really cool. What got you interested in shooting?
They basically invited some primary school kids because I was near the shooting club at that time to just try it out. And then I signed up, and then I just kept doing it until I think when I was Sec 3, I quitted because I had to focus on O levels.
I see. Do you think you would continue?
I definitely want to, but because of this whole entire COVID situation, it's a bit difficult as well because there's social distancing, and then there's like new rules in the shooting alley. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, no, that's really interesting. I never would have guessed shooting for meditation. I learned something new as well, you know?
It's a very like calming spot, just stand there, relax, and then take your shot.
No, I love it. Like these are some of the things where if you actually don't know, you don't practice the sport, you would never know that that's actually the effect it would have on your own mental health, calming you down and putting you in that Zen position. I love it. This is great. Okay, so next question for me. I would like to start with Shelling as well. Okay, so how or where can we find a community for support when someone needs someone to talk to?
I think firstly you should go to close family and friends. I'm sure you have a very big support group. I mean, I do. And I think more importantly is really not suffer alone. Yeah, as in don't keep everything to yourself because there's always a better way out. You just need to talk to people. You may need to talk to 10, I don't know, and there's so many different organizations that support mental wellness nowadays, like Safe Space, and a lot of other companies, right? So I think more importantly is to reach out. Don't keep it to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's absolutely true. How about you, TY?
Okay, maybe for myself, there's a lot of things. So like what Shelling was saying, you can share it with your families. So maybe for someone like myself, where my parents are, they are very traditional parents. A lot of issues I go through, I would say they won't kind of like totally understand and grasp what I'm going through. So that is the point where you can find like-minded friends, your best friends, your folks that's around you. So the good thing about where we are at right now, for example, in Pollinate, we have our own ecosystem founders and stuff like this. And I do take regular time just to say hi to them. We will catch up for lunch, and we just talk about all these like problems and issues. And that kind of puts you in a position, hey, I'm not the only one going through this phase or this problem where people are going through. So obviously, I think there's some personal life issues that you can speak to your families. There's some work-related issues that your family might not be the best person to speak to. It is people that is in the industry who probably knows you better. So you look for that group, right? I think it's really looking for the right people, the right experts to really just talk about it. And obviously, if there is a case that you really have an issue and you really cannot find anyone to talk to, like you really feel that there's no expert, I think just find the best person that you're always very comfortable with and just share it out. Yeah, like it's important just to not keep it inside yourself, because I've tried that like years back. There's always like, I keep telling myself like, since it's my problem, let me deal with it myself. I think all of us might have gone through that kind of phases, because there's some of us just don't like to burden ourselves with issues of our own. But we didn't realize back then, by actually sharing out, you're not actually burdening any others. They are just a listening ear. And that kinds of, and any feedbacks or any reflection that they actually gave back actually does help you in your thought process as well. Yeah, so I think we should do that a lot more. Yeah.
Okay. What about if someone doesn't have that friend or family member that they can talk to? What do you suggest then?
Yeah, then like Shelling say, obviously there's a lot of platforms out there right now, Safe Space, therapists. I've seen even very young ones right now, they know where are the right channels to look for help. It might not necessarily be expensive. I think a lot of therapists are out there also. They have a mission of creating the world with a better place, like a better health and mental well-being. I think a lot of people are happy to give some sort of free advice once in a while. And I think these are channels that obviously we can reach out to. even if we are not so, I think it's important to just take that first approach to recognizing that, hey, I need someone to talk to first, and then getting past that barrier. Yeah, and I think that probably education towards that point is also a lot important in order for people to take that initial step.
Got it. No, that's great. No, I think it's also very encouraging words for everyone who's watching in today, where they can also look for help and look at what kind of employers are the ones who are also encouraging for more help and to have that open conversation. So thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
Amy, how about you? So same question, amongst your peers, where can we find a community for support, especially when someone needs someone to talk to?
I think a lot of my lecturers in FMS are actually very open. I have very cool lecturers. It's like one of the biggest perks in being in a media course is that your lecturers are very cool and they're very chill and they're trying to communicate to you a lot and trying to understand you. So a lot of my lecturers, they're the kind that you can go towards when you have issues and you need someone to talk to.
That's great.
Yeah, so definitely FMS lecturers, that's one. Obviously, there will be my friends, which I will call if I have something bothering me. Yeah.
Got it. What about friends who might not be within the FMS circle? Where would you refer them to for a community of support?
I'm not saying refer them to me, but I'm not I'm not that good at helping people, right? So for my friends who are in FMS, most of the time they I think for teenagers there's a thing where we just rant and vent on social media. So that's the thing that sometimes I tell them, you know what, if you need really no money to go for therapy, or parents don't allow to go for therapy, which is a lot of older generation, they may not believe in these kind of things.
Yeah.
I can say, you can just add me into this close friends list on Instagram and then you just vent.
Yeah.
I'm reading it, so there's an outlet for them to vent towards too. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. You could always just message Safe Space. We have therapists talking on our IG all the time.
Yeah.
Also that.
Who will
Good
give free
idea.
advice from time to time. So yeah, there's also that option. That's free, that's available. Okay, we have actually quite a number of questions coming up. So whoever's watching at home, thank you so much. Okay, so someone has asked, what is your one advice that you can give people who are struggling mentally now? Maybe starting from Amy. Just one advice.
Wow. Sorry. When it's one thing, right, it's harder to think about it when it's one thing. Find something that you don't have to do constantly, but something you enjoy doing. So don't make it like a job and like a once in a blue moon kind of hobby. And when you do that hobby, tell yourself that this is the thing that you do when you need to clear your mind. Yeah. So I'll probably think of that.
Nice. Okay, T.Y., how about you? One advice for,
Yeah,
for someone struggling.
Mine would be similar to what Amy shared. I guess I always encourage people to do the things that you love and you enjoy the most without having the need to think a lot about it. Yeah, so that would be my advice. When you're feeling down or when you're feeling confused or lost, just go and do that one thing that you really, really love the most. Yeah.
All right, how about you, Shelling?
I think for me would be to practice self-love, pause, come back to basics, appreciate yourself more.
Got it. And what does self-love look like to you? What is that one thing that you do that works well for you?
I cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And then I put on social media, I host friends to come over to try my cooking and stuff.
Oh man,
Yeah.
if you need any guinea pigs, I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to test your
Arvin as
cooking.
well.
Most welcome. Yeah. It was very therapeutic for me during this period because I post so much of my food that suddenly people ask me, do you do catering? So it was quite funny. Yeah, so that was quite fun for me.
Nice. What kind of cuisine do you cook?
It's just Chinese, fusion stuff. Yeah, because I like Korean, I like Japanese, I like Chinese food. So yes.
Is it dinner time? So I'm getting hungry. Is it dinner time?
Okay, this next question that has come through is actually someone asking from an entrepreneur's perspective. So I'm guessing this is more for T.Y. and for Shelling. The question was that for Mr. Alvin Tan, he was speaking on being nimble and moving fast. As entrepreneurs, isn't that stressful? So maybe I'll start that off with T.Y.
Yep. I mean, of course, the need to always be churning out things at superhuman speed is always a stressful thing. They're always saying, oh, when the environment change, let's quickly adapt to it. And there's competition all around. Just imagine for us when we did tours, there's all this COVID restriction keep kicking in the next day. Not just for us, for the F&B industry, for the retail industry. It's always like the 2 days later restriction change and you have to implement it. And that adds a lot of stress, honestly. So I can't say that, oh, there's no stress, people don't think about it. There is stress. It's really how you deal with it. And the more you deal with it, right, thereafter you will always you are able to benchmark what you really need to do. And I think that's important to always set that sort of expectation to say that, hey, things might get a bit worse, so be prepared for it, buffer for it. And when it happens, then you know how you can deal with it.
Oh, I love that advice.
Very cool. How about you, for Shelling, for your business? Do you find that it's stressful to always be nimble and fast, and how do you cope with that?
I think for us, we are very lucky that we have a very good team to count on each other. So things really happen really fast, but we recalibrate together all the time. Yeah, so we discuss very openly, we get each other's support, and really brainstorm together when things are a bit tough. Yeah. Great.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Just to share some closing words, what was really important for everyone to see was that, for Shelling, it was really being about inclusive, about being flexible, finding things about self-love. For TY is also having that kind of flexibility in the workplace, really showing your staff that you care about them and creating that platform in a remote setting for them to share things that's fun about the workplace. And for Amy, self-care areas like reading, being a listening ear to your friend and finding what's affordable and even free options to use when it comes to looking after your mental health. So thank you so much to the panel for sharing all of this today with me. For those of you who want to learn more about your own mental resilience, for Safe Space, we do have an online course called Building Mental Resilience with Growth Mindset. You can find it on safespace.co. And you can actually use your Skills Future credit to go for the course and learn more about your mental resilience and how you can have growth mindset. Thank you so much to the panel for sharing with us your insights today. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much, Ngee Ann Polytechnic, the Sandbox, and the Office for Innovation and Entrepreneurship for inviting us here today. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, panelists and Ms. Patterson, for moderating the discussion. May we now invite Ms. Ang, Ms. Patterson, Ms. Han, and Mr. Shin to remain at your seats as Ms. Tan, Director of the Sandbox, Ngee Ann Poly, presents the tokens of appreciation to our invited speakers. Ms. Tan, please. May we invite the panel for a group photo.